Welcome everyone to Just Onside. I'm your host Ahmed Badger Baghdadi, and I am joined by Mr. Ever Present, the man who has no days off, Uwais Ahmed. And from what I'm reading here, he's a Sampdoria season ticket holder. I believe it's
Oh my dear.
I've missed
Kicking
you,
him on when he's
chaps.
down. Kicking him on when he's down.
How you doing, chaps? You good?
Well, I'll pick up on what you've obviously sort of said about the Sampdoria thing. Just when you think I've come to peace with relegation, the Rads, the guy that I've been dissing for about 2.5 years, he comes up with this nonsense. So I could be better. I mean, after this show, I'm going to actually go through all the Leeds United podcasts because at the moment it's meltdown. Fans have gone berserk. It's carnage. So I'm with them. I'm with the anti-Rads brigade at this moment in time.
You're the founder, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I probably am actually.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, he's right. Justified. I'd say it's justified.
nice.
Justified.
Yeah, nice.
Oh,
Nice.
you mean the anger? I thought you meant what Rads is doing is justified. Come on, leave it. Take it outside.
This is our first kind of the podcast after Sunday's last games. I guess doesn't really count, but this is the first one like where Leeds are a kind of a thing of the past. But nice to see Ayub's nice to see Ayub's reacting well to all the fallout. So no, it's all good. But yeah, doing good. Got a nice couple of nice talking points today. So yeah, keen to dive into it. Come on.
Lovely. Let's not waste any time then. Let's get straight into it. The big game this weekend, gents, the cup final. Man United versus Manchester City. It's City on their way to a treble as it stands. This is their second stop after wrapping up the Premier League title before moving on to Inter Milan in the Champions League final. So what do we think, gents? What are our thoughts like going into this game? And do we think United have a chance? I mean, I'll just start off actually with this instead of asking you guys because it pertains to me the most. I would give United a 25% chance in this game. I believe they have the tools to beat anyone on their day. We've shown we can hurt City in the past, but I mean, City are overwhelming favourites. Let's not get anything confused here with the way they've been playing, the way they've closed out the season. And I know they lost to Brentford last game of the season, little blip, but I'm sure they were in post-celebration mode from winning the championship. So they're still on their day. The way they're playing right now, they could wipe most teams. It could get ugly for us. Like we've been good all season. But when we have lost, we've lost pretty badly. So this could go either one or two ways. Either United could nick this, or City are gonna give a right thumping. So we'll see which United turns up. At the moment, I think City overwhelming favourites. Like I say, 75% chance. I'd say City, 25 to United, and some may say that even that's generous. But I think we've got a good shot. I think we've got a good shot on the break. I think we can cause them some damage. But I'm looking forward to it nonetheless because it has been a good season. I don't want it to be clouded by a whooping, shall we say. I want it to be respectable. For me, as long as United, what I want is no errors. If we start gifting City goals, that'll then I think annoy me more than anything because they're a good enough team where if they're going to score a goal, let them earn it. Let them score a great goal, no problem, but don't give away anything silly. And we've got to be more clinical, and that has been something that we have not been this season. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited. A Manchester derby in the final. A lot, obviously, we can for United. It's winning another trophy. The second one. So we do the domestic cup double, and then the added bonus of stopping City doing a treble. So I think it's all to play for United. The motivation should be there. So it'll be interesting. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Ayub, I'll pass over to you.
Well, the first thing, I disagree with you when you said that United on their day can beat anybody. They probably can, but not Man City. Not Man City.
We beat Man City this season.
Yeah. But on your day, and if Man City have their day,
factual.
there's only one winner. There's only one winner, Man City. I'm hoping that Man City do win, because I've just been absolutely just completely smitten by their season this year. I think this season, I mean, I said it at the start, do you know, when we've been doing the podcast, that City were going to win the Champions League. I think a team that's going to win the Champions League deserves to be winning the league, the FA Cup. It deserves to be winning everything. I think this is the year. I think this is the year that Pep, probably shows his worth, and he probably can go down as one of the great coaches, great managers. So I can't see, if City turn up, doesn't matter what United do, City will win. Even I think City are so good that even if they had Bamford up front, they'd still win. That's how good City are. I can't see it. I can't see another result, because the Brentford result, yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody who knows the game would pay attention to that result. When it's mattered, City have turned up. I mean, with the season as well, the league season, they were at the coattails of Arsenal. As soon as they saw a glimmer, they went in for the kill. They just don't take any prisoners now. So they'd have to have an incredibly bad day. United have to play at the top of their game for United to have a chance, but I don't think that's going to be possible. I think this team is so focused. I think Guardiola has got every single player in the squad focused on key games, big games. They'll turn up, they'll win.
All right, that just ended.
Yeah. That's
It
I mean,
sounded like you were mid-sentence. Sorry.
no. That's there's nothing more to be said. It's
All right.
Well,
All right,
first,
we can move on from the fanboy. Lewis, give me your thoughts.
First things first, there are times when you seamlessly transition to bringing Patrick Bamford into the conversation, and I give you kudos for those. And there are the times,
Yeah.
and there are times,
Shoehorned in.
yeah, there are
It
times
was.
when
This was, yes.
when
This was
it's
shoehorned.
exactly. There are times when it's as subtle as a sledgehammer.
Yeah,
and,
but I had no other opportunities. I knew that this was the only chance.
You know,
Let me slip the man in.
Yeah, we're discussing a game between two fantastic teams playing for one of the final games of the season. A great spectacle at Wembley. All eyeballs will be on the game, and there you are, bringing Patrick Bamford into the conversation, right on cue. I mean, look, after the semi-finals, when the semi-final draw for the FA Cup was put together, obviously Manchester City had the easier draw with, I believe, playing Sheffield United in the semi-final. And Sheffield United, to be fair, acquitted themselves fairly decent, to be fair, in the first half, but in the end, I think most Premier League teams would have probably beaten Sheffield United, not least arguably the cream of the crop when it comes to kind of European clubs right now. So yeah, in the end, the quality told. I think United, as Badge alluded to in a few episodes ago, that was a game that could have definitely gone either way. And in the end, on penalties, it's a bit of a lottery. And United came through that penalty shootout. So yeah, there's always a little bit of lottery, a little bit of luck there, but fair enough. But it's given us the spectacle that we all wanted. A Manchester derby in the FA Cup should be a glorious day at Wembley. I'm not sure what the weather's like, but again, should be a fantastic affair and a right good spectacle. So that's good, I think, from a eyeballs perspective. In terms of team news, just very quickly, I know United have got a few question marks over some players. I think Luke Shaw should be fine, it would seem. I think the question mark really is on Anthony. Eric Ten Hag spoken fairly positively, I think, in terms of that he could well be back. He looked like he got a pretty bad injury in his last game at Old Trafford, but he seems like he could be back. Martial's obviously been ruled out with a hamstring injury, I believe, but again, that's no surprise to anyone who's been following Anthony Martial's career at Manchester United.
So brittle.
I mean, City have got a few question marks of their own, but all of them should be fine. There's some talk about De Bruyne, Diaz, Akanji, Grealish, but I think all four of them should be fine. And remember, they've rotated a fair few in that final game against Brentford, so they should be rested aplenty going into this big game. Obviously, 1 week away from the Champions League final as well. So they've got, I mean, there's no issues there, obviously, in terms of rotation. He'll play his best team to win the game of football on Saturday. So there's no issues there. I think you're right. I mean, look, Manchester City will be favourites because they are the better team. And even in a one-game affair, that's how you would approach it. Ultimately, the better team will have the odds on winning. But if there are a few teams in in Europe, let's say, that can hurt them, it's perhaps a team that obviously knows them incredibly well and has given them some challenges in recent times, whether that's at the Etihad or whether that's at Old Trafford. So I do think it might actually be, I think it'd be a fairly even game in terms of perhaps City dominating the ball for the most part, but United also looking threatening, because I do think they've got the tools, like I've spoken about on a few occasions, in terms of how you try and get at City, which is it's got to be quick. It's got to be incredibly quick on transitions. You're not methodically playing through this City team, at least not consistently. You may be able to pull off a chance or two like this, but I think it's got to be quick. I think Fernandes will be critical. He's got the ability to pick out passes, short, medium, long. He can set people off into the channels, and City will have to respect that pace. Anthony's shown, I think it was since that kind of game against Everton at Old Trafford, Badge, I don't know if you remember, but he was running.
He had a turn where he started running on the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that. Previously, he was showing a lot more to feet. He's now kind of slightly varied his game a little bit more, where he's kind of running in behind, threatening in behind in the channel. So I think that'll be the key. Rashford, Anthony, any other kind of pace that they can get going forward, and kind of Fernandes trying to spring them through. But yeah, I mean, City are favourites. They are the better team. They've won the league in the end relatively comfortably once they've overcome Arsenal. They're chasing a treble. You'd think that if they create the kind of chances that they normally do, that they should be able to put a few away. But I wouldn't feel confident predicting, because like I said, Manchester United, for me, are one of the teams that definitely can at least get at them. I don't think it's as comfortable as one would make out.
Right, again, that just ended. Sorry. I'm not
You're
picking this
attention.
up. I'm not picking it up.
Yeah.
He's a bit rusty.
Listen, stop being a perennial fence sitter and bloody give a prediction.
I know. I like, it was a couple of episodes ago when I was wearing my Switzerland top, so yeah, exactly. No, I just think it's going to be a difficult game. So I fancy City in the end. Yeah, if it's true to form, and that's not United. Have ended the season with pretty decent form as well. Yeah,
listen, here's some positivity to my United brothers and sisters. Let me hit you with some facts. Most informed team ending the season, Manchester United. Yeah, we're currently on 4 on the bounce, which is which qualifies us for most informed team, I guess. We're not playing at Old Trafford. However, at Old Trafford, we lost the same amount of home games as City won. Yeah. City have won 2 more. City have won 2 more, and we've drawn the extra 2. So, I mean, when you say they're miles ahead,
there's lies, damn lies, and statistics.
I think.
Let's have this.
What about the one?
Have this.
Yeah. What about the one where they finished 14 points above you in the league? What about that statistic? No, look. I mean, that probably brings us on nicely, I guess, to in terms of United's season. We've not probably covered them in any great detail. This is obviously their final game of the season, heading into a big summer for them as well. How do you see Badge Ten Hag's first season in charge? He's had a few challenges as well along the way. How do you evaluate it from a United fan's perspective, but also how you see the next season unfolding in terms of their hopes and aspirations?
I think it's an interesting one, because it's fine margins, shall we say. I think a few United fans were very, very concerned when Liverpool started picking up that form and showed that they might be able to sneak into that top 4. And had it been at our expense, I think quite a few United fans, not myself, but quite a few United fans would have had a different take on how the season's gone so far. But to finish season 3rd, listen, terrific achievement, especially after last season's debacle. That was I didn't recognise that team last season, if I'm being honest. I think the club as a whole was an absolute mess. No one respected Rangnick's authority once he came in after Ole as well, as he was only there for short term. So I think they just weren't responding. But this season, after the start we had, Brighton losing at home to them, and then Brentford away, we all know about that game. To turn it around in the manner that Erik ten Hag did, I think the way he managed that group initially when it came down to picking the players back up after that 4-0 defeat against Brentford, I think him shouldering some responsibility as well by going on that run with the team I think that actually helped in a way with his bond, creating that bond that he had with the players. I think he's done a stellar job. Our home form, which under Solskjaer away we were great. At home, people could just come and turn us over quite comfortably. Our home form has been spectacular this season. Like I said, we've out of 19 games, we've won 15, drawn 3, and lost 1. Only cities have had a better home form this season than us guys. They've won 17, 1-1. So I think the fact that he's made Old Trafford a fortress again, superb. Only conceded the 10 goals at home, which is sensational. Great work there. It was double digits. It was single digits until last game of the season, the Fulham game.
The last game counts.
It counts. It counts. But that pushed it. That pushed it to double digits.
I know. I know.
Our away form. I think people have this misconception that we've been atrocious away from home, when in reality we actually haven't. We sit fifth in the away form table at the minute. Won 8 out of 19, which doesn't sound great, but then you have City and Arsenal on 11 and 12, so you're not too far behind. It's the games in which we have lost against some of the bigger teams in which well, not even the bigger teams per se, but there's some games where we've lost, and the manner of those defeats, I think, is what lives long in the memory for fans, which, I mean, rightly so. If you get conceding 6 away to City, 7. I didn't want to say that. 4.
Liverpool.
Oh, is that who it was? 4 away to Brentford. And even the Arsenal game, I know it was a close game, 3-2 scoreline wise. We still shipped 3 there as well. So I think in the games where we did lose, we did ship quite a few goals. But that seems to bring this misconception that our away form was terrible, in which in reality it actually wasn't. It was quite good. So I think he's done a great job with the players he's got available to him. I don't think a lot of these players will, well, maybe not a lot, but a good amount of them do not fit the style that he's trying to achieve at United. David De Gea won the Golden Glove. I think that's partly down to the defense as well this season. Usually, when De Gea wins these awards, you can comfortably say he's earned them himself and he's won us X amount of points. But I think this season, the defense as a whole has been great. Obviously, the goalkeepers get rewarded with that trophy. But again, when it comes to playing out from the back and keeping possession and not just hitting it forward, because we don't particularly have a target man to hit to either. David De Gea is just, it's been a struggle in the sense we can't play a possession-based game at times because we do have to hit it long because he's not comfortable being pressed and playing it out from the back. So I think Ten Hag recognized that, to be fair. There were still times, like admittedly as late as the Sevilla game, that we were trying to play out from the back and it was just kamikaze stuff. But I think with recruitment in the summer, and I know there's talks he's getting that extension, that 1 year extension. I feel like that is a fail-safe. Like, in case we can't get anyone else, let's time down to another year. At least we will still have De Gea at that part. But I think ideally, if Ten Hag wants to play his way and stamp his authority on the team and keep that ball, keep the possession, build from the back, we will need a new goalkeeper at some point. So I think he has also said that even though he is potentially signing an extension, that doesn't mean automatically he's number one. He's going to need competition. So I do hope they sign a goalkeeper. Our problem has been in front of goal this season. We have no goal scorers bar Marcus Rashford. I think our next top scorer may be on 5 or 6 after Rashford. Again, Rashford's had a good season. He ended it on 17 goals and 5 assists, which, I mean, for your winger, that's superb. A lot of the times he has been asked to play down the middle. But again, we need forwards in. I think Weghorst won't get signed. Martial, like you alluded to, there's videos on Twitter circulating where he's feeling his hammy during Erik Ten Hag's speech that he's giving at the end of the season. So he's too brittle, that lad. He's got talent, he's got ability, he's too brittle. I think it seems like his time's up as well at United because I feel like we're in for 2 strikers at the moment, a young and then a proven one. So if you can get a regular goal scorer, I think for next season there'll be a huge push. I think you'll see United get a lot closer to whoever's up there. Um, I think there's some of the signings. I think Ten Hag's signings have been terrific. Lisandro Martinez, who he insisted upon getting, he would have ended up at Arsenal otherwise. Like superb season, literally transformed our defense. Instilled that fight and that character, which again you can attribute to Anthony as well. Another one at Ten Hag signing. And I know people throw around this price tag with Anthony, but I think had the board not messed about, you would have got Anthony for 30 million pounds cheaper initially. But they were dilly-dallying, they were messing Ajax around. And then after fan backlash, they came back to the well, and Ajax rightly so just ripped us off and added on another 20 million, smelling the desperation. But Anthony as a whole, again, he's had a good season. I think it's easy for certain people and pundits to not watch us as much and then just claim the guy's a flop. I think it's crazy. I think the impact he's had, especially on our right side, the balance he's brought, the extra dimension of a left footer coming in, and you've seen some of the goals he scored. I think he's been terrific. He's been terrific in moments. He's had a good season. He can 100% improve, especially his output. I think, as Uwais alluded to, you can see Anthony towards the final third of the season, he was definitely going on the outside more, which is something that he has to do. Like, even if once you go on the outside of a defender and not just keep cutting in, it at least plants that seed of doubt in the defender's mind. So it's something he has worked on, and I'm hoping he improves, and he has to chip in more, and that goes in for the rest of the team. But as a whole, I think Ten Hag's done a terrific job, honestly. Even if we don't win this final, he's still done a terrific job. I mean, FA Cup final, Europa League, we went out to the eventual winners, won the Carabao Cup, third in the Premier League. Well, superb job.
Just Baz, just on the, I mean, you've obviously eulogized about Ten Hag, and you're absolutely right. I think he's been instrumental in the rebirth of Man United. But how important do you think that decision was? Do you know when he benched Rashford? How important do you think that was? Not just, I suppose, for Ten Hag, but I suppose the message that he conveyed to the rest of the players.
I think it's huge. And it's not just that decision as well. He made quite a few big decisions in the season, beginning with after the Brentford game. He didn't just set the players to do the laps and do the runs like early morning. He joined them, taking some responsibility himself. That's huge. I think that earned some respect from the players. You had the whole Ronaldo situation, which feels like ages ago now, but that was, I think the way he handled that was superb as well. He never talked bad about Ronaldo once. I think he handled the fact that even though he did the interview, he still was respectful in the way he spoke about him, and he handled that situation brilliantly, especially with the way the media and pundits like absolutely hone in on anything controversial towards United, especially in the Ronaldo scenario. You know, the headlines Ronaldo brings. Handled that well, and then like you said, the Marcus Rashford thing, our most informed player at the time, our main goal getter, comes late to training, so puts his stamp of authority on the team. Like, not even Rashford can get away with this. And I think that sends a huge message to the rest of the team. And it cemented him as the boss. And I think everyone responded to that. And Rashford responded to that. Just came on and scored. Superb.
Yeah, I was going to say, just on that incident, that's exactly it. I think even Marcus Rashford, that's always the sign of where the manager's got a fairly solid control of the dressing room, where he benches him. To your point, he came late in training. I think he pressed snooze on his alarm clock, I think, if rumours are to be believed. But he benches him at Molineux. The game's there kind of lingering, and I think he brings him on either at halftime or about 50th, 60th minute. I can't quite remember, but you're right. Quick 1-2, powers his way through a few defenders and obviously scores. And it's the way Rashford spoke afterwards as well. It was a case of not, I wanted to prove the manager wrong or anything like that. You owned it, as you should. And Again, that tells you a little bit of the handle of the manager. I think it's important to eulogize about this manager. Ever since Manchester United were rumored to be in for Erik ten Hag, I had a strong feeling that their fortunes in the end, based on the last decade or so, were going to change. This is a manager who has a good pedigree, and if you look closely at what he achieved at Ajax, winning three Dutch titles in his three complete seasons whilst coaching there, the huge run that he had in 2019 with the Champions League beating, coming through three qualifying rounds, being unbeaten in the group stages, coming through Real Madrid, Juventus, and let's be honest, they should have beaten Spurs. They didn't lose on aggregate. It was 3-3 on aggregate in one of the most unbelievable games in Champions League history. But they should have come through that. And to be honest with you, I do feel like, and this is no disrespect to Spurs whatsoever, I really mean this, but I really felt that Ajax team could have troubled Liverpool maybe in the final. I always felt Liverpool were going to be favourites in that final against Spurs, and so it proved with the early penalty that set them on their way. But no, I think ever since United obviously got Erik ten Hag, what I like about him the most is that there's often these kind of storylines about managers that, they've got to have a certain personality, or they've got to be eccentric, or they've got to have some sort of charisma and what have you. And look, some of the greatest managers in the world do have a great deal of charisma. I would argue Mourinho, Guardiola, they've got something about them, a presence, right? And I think what I like about Ten Hag is it's not so much the presence. I think he's just good at his job, and that's maybe the first and foremost thing that you want from a manager, that he knows his tactics, he understands discipline, he understands how to rotate, how to get the best out of his players, how to put his team out for big occasions. And he's shown in terms of dealing with the Ronaldo situation and other situations that he's handling the whole thing well. Even Maguire slowly kind of easing him out of the team, but he's not had anything negative to say about Maguire. He's just simply saying, look, this is where I'm at right now. So he just goes about his business in a very professional, dignified way, which I really like. So I think, look, of course, they've spent money. A lot of rivals have. Yeah, they spent best part of 240 million euros in the summer with Malacia, Anthony, Casemiro, and Martinez. But three of those go straight into the first team. They've needed to kind of bring that quality into the team, and you can see those players really stepping up, perhaps, well, not just this season, but also going forward. So, yeah, I think, look, it all starts for me always with the manager. If you've got a quality manager and he sets the tone from top to bottom, and he quickly becomes the most important person at that football club and does not abuse that position in the process, you're on to a winner. And I think in the end, of course, Manchester United fans will accept this season, and I think it's a big progress. If you look at where they finished last year, 6th, compared to this year, 3rd, they've had a 17-point swing around, plus 15 on the goal difference from last year to this year. To put that into context, although they started from a lower position, they had a bigger point swing around than even Arsenal did. Again, Arsenal obviously finished higher last season and this season, but it just goes to show there has been a significant amount of improvement. You would expect that based on the quality in that team. They've got top players now everywhere. If you look at Varane, Martinez, Shaw's coming to a resurgent form, Fernandes in the form of his life, Casemiro, kind of perennial Champions League winner, Varane with God knows how many caps for France and winning Champions League, and you've got obviously Rashford in the form of his life. And so there's a lot of quality there. Recruitment in the summer will be key to their hopes, and of course next season will definitely be all about challenging for the Premier League title. So yeah, they've got the right man in the job. Just one thing you said about De Gea there was really funny. I thought at the weekend when he was parading with the kind of, I don't know if it's called the Golden Glove or whatever the equivalent is for the Premier League trophy with all the players, and then they went to Roy Keane for his quick reaction, who suggested that it was just the way he said it in a very matter-of-fact way that I hope they move on from him quick. And I think
get that De Gea out of here.
Yeah, that's a pretty good Irish accent. But no, I mean, I understand kind of where he's coming from, but I also get what you're saying, where they may just kick the can down the road for one more year and see if they can secure another top-class number one, perhaps the year after. I think that's how they're looking at it with some of these decisions. Even with the Diogo Dalot, although he's been good, I think it's one of those decisions they feel they don't need to make now at right back. So perhaps it's just good to kick it down the road for one more year. So yeah, I think next year, key recruitment in the summer, striker position, central midfield. And I think they can really kick on and be part of that group right at the very top, challenging Manchester City.
I do think keeper is a key position, though, and I still believe that we will look to sign what would say a successor this season, if you can. We obviously don't know what the budget is, but I do believe to kick on and play the way Ten Hag wants, we need a new goalkeeper. So that's why I think he's not bothering with right back as much. I think he will have Dalot and Wan-Bissaka because there was huge talks obviously earlier in the season about getting a right back, but I think the upturn in form and the way Wan-Bissaka's had a great season, Diego Dalot has shown at times he's good. So I think striker, defender, midfielder, and keeper. I mean, I know I'm
That's the
naming all the
spine.
positions.
The
Yeah,
spine.
but
Yeah.
it's literally required. It's literally required.
Yeah, just one more point on the you mentioned about the goalkeeper, a couple of things. David De Gea. If you remember, it was the game semi-final against Brighton, a couple of days after the shambles that was away to Sevilla, where it was noticeable how he just went long in the semi-final,
Constantly
and
kept losing the ball.
I do understand it to some extent. It was a case of confidence is probably all-time low. Let's just kick it long, and I just think you might see a little bit of that on Saturday, perhaps, where look, take no chances. City are pretty decent at pressing. Let's just go along, see if we can win. I just wonder whether we'll see some of that. Also, funnily enough, you mentioned about the fixtures away from home this season. You're right. It's more that they just got batterings, which
Yeah.
obviously sent the goal difference into a bit of a tailspin. What's really interesting is that I believe Manchester City actually only won one game away from home against the top nine as well. So against the other 8 teams that finished in the top nine,
Really?
Manchester City only beat Arsenal at the Emirates. They failed to win in any of the other kind of top 8, top 7 grounds, if you get the point. So it was only they beat Arsenal.
I actually did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing fact. And by the way, about these signings that he made this summer, let's not get it twisted. The board was they were trying to shaft him. They were giving him, let me remember this correctly, they were giving him Adrian Rabiot and Marco Arnautovic. Those were his targets because of a lack of funds that were going to be pumped into that club. And then because of the fan uproar and all that, and all the riots and whatnot that you saw started, that's when they started changing their tune, and that's when they went back to Anthony, got ripped off, quite frankly, by about 20, 30 million. And that's, again, Casemiro. That's why he came into it. I'm sure Ten Hag would have loved Casemiro, but he in no way did he think he was ever going to get Casemiro. And you could tell that by the targets he was getting. So they eventually fixed up. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the club and the sale.
Quick predictions for the game.
For the cup game.
Yes.
Nah, I don't.
Come on.
I gave you my percentages.
Percentages. What's that? I'll go first. I will say City will eke out a 2-1 victory.
3-1. 3-1.
2-1. That's interesting. That
Ayub said 3-1.
He's focusing on your 2-1. I don't know why. Why is that interesting?
No, because I feel like if we lose, we will lose. Like by
that's true.
We lose by like 2-3.
It'll be tight. I think OS is right. I mean, obviously, I've said it's going to be quite a comfortable win, but it's a cup final. There's the Manchester rivalry. It's probably not going to be as straightforward, but I think 3-1.
I'm 100%. I'm telling you now, I'm going to be wrong, but United 2-1.
He could not get the words out of his mouth to predict a Manchester United loss. The most predictable thing on this podcast ever.
No, but that's the way it should be. I mean,
wait, why is it the most predictable thing?
Because I just know
Show some damn respect to United, will you?
Hey, listen. You've had a better season than Arsenal, so go for it.
No.
Yeah, don't you forget that, OS.
yeah, don't you forget, mate. Wait, sorry. Before we move on, this is just for me, I guess. This is a bit greedy, but how many points did we end behind you? 9 points. Okay, that's not bad.
Not bad. That's massive. Massive.
It's not bad considering they were title challengers.
I'm not even going to I'm not going to dignify it with a response.
Right, I think that about wraps up that segment. I think, Uwais, you have something. You you have something special lined up for myself and Ayub next. So I am not privy to any of this, ladies and gents, but I'll let Uwais take it away.
Thanks, Badge. Well, I thought season's ended, so we're looking forward to doing lots of good episodes over the summer. But I thought it'd be kind of funny just to change the pace a little bit. And I thought what I'll do is I've put together some questions. Now, some of these questions are quickfire trivia, let's say, quickfire predictions. Nothing too serious, a little bit of light-hearted predictions as well, I guess. And yes, but neither of you have seen these questions. I've been putting them together for the last day and a half, let's say.
During work.
Outside of work hours, of course. But yeah, some of them are quick fire predictions. Some of them are like quick thoughts. Some will be kind of true or false, but also for you to give you an opportunity to kind of also share your thoughts. Yeah. So I'll ask you some questions. We're not keeping score. It's just a little bit light-hearted kind of trivia. So are we ready?
So is this your version of end of season fun?
Well, I'm a bit of a football anorak, so yeah, this is probably the way I get my highs. But let's see how you two get on. Anyway, like I said, so are we ready? And make sure, please, that you listen to the question in its entirety. Are you? Yeah, please.
Well, that'll be a first.
Good. Okay. First and foremost, how many points will Luton Town get in the Premier League next season, and what will be their goal difference?
Got it, Ayub.
They'll get less than 12 points.
So can you put a number on that?
Less than 12 points mean 12 points. 12 points.
How's less than 12? 12.
Well, I don't know. 11 points.
Jeez Louise. And what's
All
the goal
right.
difference?
And what was the goal difference? It will be what was our goal difference?
Just to put it into context.
It was a minus 30, buddy.
Southampton had minus 37. And that's not me suggesting that Luton Town will get relegated, by the way.
They will get relegated. They will have the worst goal difference in the history of the Premier League. I want them down.
So what's the number?
Hey?
You're not quite getting the hang of this, are you?
No, I'm getting the hang of it. Right. It will be 40.
What? Minus 40?
Minus 40. They will be getting hammering after hammering.
Badge?
I think Luton. I'm gonna give them a bit more hope. I think this is gonna age like milk, by the way. But I'd say 22 points for Luton next season. So that I think 22 points. Let's go with that, and with a minus 35.
Minus 35.
What's the record lowest points?
I think it's Derby County with 12, right?
That may or may not be in my questions. Anyway, let's carry on.
Oh, okay. 12? Is that
12? Let's carry on. Okay. 1st of July, 1976. Name the two Dutch strikers born on this exact same date.
1st of July,
76.
1976. Right, okay.
86, 96, 46, 16. Ruud van Nistelrooy.
That's
He's
one.
one of them.
That's one, yeah. And I think I know the other as well. Jimmy Floyd.
No.
Damn it. Wait, actually. Patrick Kluivert.
Patrick Kluivert.
Yeah, damn it. I should have gone in first.
Both born on the exact same date.
That's actually sick. I did not know that.
Let's carry on. Let's keep it fluid.
Ruud van.
Otherwise, you'll be pointing to your watch again. Kylian Mbappe has 12 World Cup goals in 14 games. He's joint 6th with Pele in those standings. Who's first on the list?
I know this, so I'll let you go first.
Hang on, I'm just trying to sort of work out who's played the most World Cup.
This is where you could have got Patrick Bamford in there. You messed up.
No, but that would have just been that. Definitely would have been shoehorning if I'd have mentioned Patrick Bamford here. Damn. Is it Ronaldo?
Okay, he said Ronaldo, yeah?
Badge?
The correct answer
is Ronaldo.
Closer.
Miroslav Klose.
Oh, right. Okay.
He beat Ronaldo's record.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
good shout, Badge. 16 goals from 24 World Cup games, and the Ronaldo that I think you were referring to, Ayub, I'll give you credit, was the Brazilian Ronaldo, and he is
Yes, I
second.
was. Yeah.
Of course you were.
Oh yeah, we should have made it. We should have made
I
it
was.
clarified. We should have made
I
it
actually
clarified.
was. He is the original Ronaldo.
The original Ronaldo.
Yeah.
I'm glad he said original rather than any other
Yeah, 'cause I-
adjective.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he has 15, I believe, in the World Cup. Okay, let's crack on. Which Premier League team has had the worst season in Premier League history? What was their points total, but also what was their goal difference?
I'll let Statman Dave take this.
It's not Derby by any chance, is it?
Wow,
12
it is.
points.
It is
12
Derby,
points. It came to me in a
you've got-
flash.
but you've got the points total
I think the
wrong.
points is wrong. Yeah.
Oh, right, was it more than that? I presume it'll be more than that. Won't it?
It'll
'Cause
be
it
more
seems-
than that. Yeah.
God, I think it was much more than that. 14.
Badge?
It's ridiculously low.
It was either 19 or 20, but
No,
nine.
it wasn't.
Let's
I
go
don't think it
19.
was 20.
Let's
I
go
don't think it was
19.
20.
The answer is 11.
Oh,
I told
it
you.
was
I said
less.
11.
So
I
I
did
was
say
close
11.
with 12. God.
No, you said 12.
No, you said 11 for Luton, buddy.
All right,
Yeah,
is that what
exactly. Yeah. What was that?
Let's replay this. Make sure that I said that.
What was their goal difference?
Derbies.
Minus 56.
Now you're being silly.
No,
Minus
I think it was-
55. It wasn't that bad. No, it was minus 41.
Minus 69.
Ooh,
My goodness me.
This
How
scored-
bad were they?
They scored 20 goals. They conceded 89. And I believe when I did my reading, I don't think they won a game. Obviously, they didn't win many, but they didn't win a game in like the last 32 games or something like that.
I've got it now. I wish we'd broken the record. I wish Leeds had broken the record.
You'll break it in 2 years' time, don't worry.
Yeah,
Right. So, who will be the starting number 9 striker for Manchester United come 1st of September 2023?
Oof. You're like setting me up for these shorts that you make. This is gonna age like milk, and I'm gonna look silly.
Go on, Weghorst.
You can answer this as well, yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I've no idea who they're interested in because I presume it's not. It's going to be somebody that they're going to buy.
Again, this could have been Bamford. You missed so many opportunities.
No. But again, it has to have some sort of
No, that'd be that. Think about it. That'd be the ultimate fu to Leeds.
Well, you bought Weghorst, haven't you? So
you never know. Stranger things.
I mean, yeah. You bought crap before, so.
Hey, let's show some respect. Come on now.
And Bamford has scored 17
No
goals in the
league
Premier
goals.
League, so he's got proven track record.
You want me to say Kane, and I know you do, and I want to say Kane, but I just think Daniel Levy's a bit of hard work, isn't he? But you know what?
Supposed to be relatively quick fire, this.
Yeah. Sorry. Let's go Kane. Let's go Kane. I mean, that deserves some thought.
Yeah, it is Kane. Now, I think with it definitely has to happen. Surely,
It definitely has to happen, surely.
it has to. I mean, it's. I suppose a few years ago, if City obviously didn't have Haaland, it's a different story. But there is no other club. I mean, I'd be surprised if he goes to Chelsea. I presume Chelsea are still on the hunt, aren't they?
Chelsea. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's move on. Roberto Firmino made his last Premier League appearance for Liverpool over the weekend. In total, he made 256 appearances for Liverpool in the league, winning 156 times. How many goals did he score for Liverpool in the Premier League?
And
57.
Well, it's not a bad shout. That. How many games did you say it was?
256 appearances.
So if he scored 50, that's more. You're saying he's a 1 in 5, Ayub? Okay. I'm gonna go a little higher than that. I'm gonna go
58.
70. Yeah, Price is right. I'll go 71. I think it's lower than that, but I'll go 71. It's fine.
Decent prediction, Badge. 82.
Oh,
you,
right, okay.
you,
All right.
you forget that every time he played Arsenal, he scored.
Yeah,
How
true.
many assists did he get?
I'll go with 40.
Are you?
Actually, probably more. But no.
52.
We'll give Ayub the points. 50.
Oof.
50 assists.
Hey,
So
he's
that's
gone over. Price is right,
No,
Rubes. I
not
win.
in this, not in this game. As long as you're close.
as long as you're close. Moving on to the next one. Please listen to this one carefully.
What were you thinking? We've not been listening before.
No, clearly not.
I haven't.
David Alaba became the 23rd footballer to win the Champions League with two different clubs. Which player had the largest gap between the two Champions League wins? For example, Alaba first won with Bayern Munich in 2013, and then he last won with Real Madrid last year in 2022. So that would be a gap of 9 years. That's not the largest gap. Otherwise, that would have made for a good quiz question. So which player has the largest gap between two Champions League wins for two different clubs?
Clarence Seedorf.
Clarence
Yeah.
Seedorf.
Well,
I
are
know
you
it's a
saying
wrong answer.
are you saying his first and his last, or his first and
Yeah, yeah.
second, or like previous? Do you know what I mean?
This player has won the Champions League with
Twice.
more than one club.
Has he won it twice?
I don't want to spoil it, but
Well, then he might be right then.
no, but what's the longest gap between a player's first Champions League win and his second Champions League win?
First and second. So his first would have been Ajax, second would have been Real Madrid. I don't think there's. That would be 95. Oh, I can't know. It can't be. It can't be.
No, it's not. Well, it isn't. I just can't
Seedorf.
think of anybody else. So
I'm letting
I
you
just-
pick first, but I'm letting you pick before I give maybe the answer or feedback to Ayub's answer.
Tell you what, this is.
because I said just on Seedorf, I think he won it with more than two clubs.
He won it. He's won it with Ajax. He's won it with Real Madrid, I believe, and he's won it, I think, twice with AC Milan.
AC Milan, yeah.
See, that's the question you should have asked. Who's won the Champions League with three clubs?
What?
so
we
you-
would have got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could have got it.
I think Alonso's was a decent gap. No, 2005. What was Alaba's?
2013 to 2022.
9 years.
9 years.
Somebody's got somebody.
Ooh.
All right, so somebody
Oh,
surpasses
jeez.
that. Is that?
Yeah, who the
There's a-
hell passes that?
There's a player with a gap of 13 years.
13 years.
13 years.
I'm gonna have to
Oh.
speed you up here, Badge.
Oh, come on now. 13 years. Who's... Oh,
Let me know when you give up.
it's killing me. This is killing me. Oh.
I'm gonna have to do one of those
Well, go on.
countdowns.
Can we not get? Can we not get
four,
clues?
Do.
Can we not get clues?
There are no clues. Come on, let's carry on. I've got a few more of these.
Oh man!
Yeah, go on. What's the answer? Are you going to give us the answer?
Of course, I'm going to give you the answer. But Badge, have you given up?
I'm gonna have to, innit? I'm gonna have to.
And you call yourself a Manchester United supporter.
No. Wait, what?
The answer is Edwin van der Sar, 1995 Ajax,
Five. Oh, I even said Ajax. What am I doing?
2008 Moscow.
You only said Ajax because of Clarence Seedorf.
Yeah, I know, but I should have had the link there.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
And to be fair,
Pathetic.
I thought the 13 years would have led you to think about a goalkeeper because it's generally goalkeepers.
Yeah.
who tend to go on
I
a bit
genuinely was
longer.
thinking keepers.
Yeah.
How did I
Cool.
not think
I'll
of
get-
this? I'm an idiot.
I'll give you quarter of a point. Okay.
I'm not gonna take
Anyway,
this
when were Leeds United founded?
off. Please, come on.
1919.
Badge?
Yeah, 19. I feel like he's right. 1920.
Ayub is right, 1919, but that's
Yeah.
because in the last episode he wore the Leeds kit and it's probably hanging just behind the monitor.
No, it isn't. I burnt it.
Oh, nice.
1919, October 1919. I think they were founded from Leeds City and then they became Leeds United, I believe. So Ayub, you do know your Leeds United onions. I'll give you that.
Oh my goodness me. I would have given up, honestly, but I got that wrong.
Which goalkeeper holds the record for the most clean sheets in the Premier League and how many?
Ever or in a season?
Which goalkeeper holds the record for the most clean sheets in Premier League history
Oh, history,
and
all right.
how many?
Okay. Schmeichel.
Badge? He's now starting to think about United first.
Yeah,
to avoid any embarrassment and then working from there.
De Gea just broke the record, but I think it was for United. It wasn't for the league. Hodge, man, I should know this. Just to avoid embarrassment, I'll say David De Gea, but it's not.
You're a disgrace.
It's not even close.
The answer is Petr Cech with 202 clean sheets. Anyone
wow.
Anyone want to have a guess who's second? This would be a pretty good guess, I would say. Somewhere behind as well, I should say, with 169. So they've got a long way to go.
David Seaman?
No. Five,
All
four.
right.
Alisson?
You and your Alisson love. He's only been with the club 3-4 years.
Edwin van der Sar.
David James.
Oh, Jamo.
Jamo.
James.
It's always, isn't it? After this, you tell us the answer. Oh, yeah, of course.
That's not bad shout. He's been there for Calamity James. He was there for a long time.
Let's move on.
I can't believe these.
Who holds the record for the quickest to 100 Premier League goals?
I want to say Mo Salah, but he's definitely one of the top 3.
Henry?
I'll say Mo Salah.
Alan Shearer.
Are you serious?
Care to guess how many games?
100 goals.
202.
What?
Badge?
Because I don't think he was scoring.
2?
Yeah. 100 goals.
No.
He wasn't scoring a goal every, sort of less than every 2 games, surely.
Badge?
90.
What, 100 goals in 90 games?
Yep.
Alan Shearer achieved 100 goals in 124 Premier League.
Ooh, I was closer. I get the point.
Yeah. Ayub.
Yeah, mate. You forget how prolific he was.
Ayub, for many strikers, some of which we will not mention, 100 goals.
This is watching Bamford.
Other strikers do score goals at a decent pace.
I am genuine. Honestly, I'm so surprised with that. I knew that he was prolific, but I just didn't think that it was almost. I mean, that is almost Messi and Ronaldo-esque.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was that
absolutely
prolific.
silly numbers.
What was his final? How many goals did he score?
260.
In how many games?
Games, I'm not so sure, but it's 260 goals. That's always been the hallowed ground which Harry Kane is currently chasing. So, Erling Haaland has 36 Premier League goals in 35 games. Will he break Alan Shearer's record in terms of quickest to 100 Premier League goals?
And how many has he got?
36 goals in 35 appearances.
If he stays fit, yeah.
What do you think?
If he stays for 2 more seasons, he's got to stay for 2 more seasons. I'm not sure whether he will.
Ooh, actually, that's a very good point.
Yeah, so that's
a very good point.
He's got his calculator out. Um, for a guy who has to spend all of his working day thinking about margins, this is quite poor, Ayub.
Well, no, because I was just thinking about Shearer. No.
He's working at his calculator.
It's
Carry
this
the one over. And
no. This is no. With Wikipedia, it's straightforward. It just tells
You
you.
know what? Thinking about it, it's actually really poor that none of us got Alan Shearer.
No, but
Speak for yourselves.
But this is what I probably. Do you know what my decision was probably based on? Do you know in terms of total games 559, career goals? I mean, this is league goals, 283.
Okay.
So that's probably what I mean. I probably sort of judged him towards the latter part of his career, where obviously he wasn't scoring a goal virtually every single game, but he obviously tailed off, didn't he, big time?
Yeah, but no striker no striker at the back end of his career scoring a goal a game. Otherwise, they wouldn't retire. They just keep going.
Ronaldo was Ronaldo and Messi. They weren't too far away. Admittedly, I suppose Messi at PSG hasn't quite done that, but
right,
Ronaldo also
let's move on. Let's move on. Let's keep this ticking. All right, listen to this question carefully. The man of the match or MVP, most valuable player in Champions League finals, was introduced in 1999, the season when Manchester United famously beat Bayern Munich. Mario Basler won that award. He scored the free kick in the first half. He won MVP, man of the match for that game. But who are the only two Englishmen to win this award since its introduction?
Stevie G.
Yeah.
That's one. Istanbul, 2005, of course.
How many goals do we get at this? However.
Go on. I mean, you're in charge of the clock.
In a final, yeah. I don't think Wazza was man of the match in the Chelsea one. How many Englishmen? Oh, Hargreaves was though, wasn't he?
Incorrect.
Hey, that was a thought process. That wasn't my answer.
That's fine.
Oh, what am I saying? McManaman.
Steve McManaman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Steve McManaman.
Real.
Yeah. Dry.
In 2000, scoring in a 3-0 win, famously against.
That's a good question, that is, though. Because I was just thinking English clubs. Ah, you smart.
Careful. Right. Who are the last three British players to score in a Champions League final?
Bamford. Last three what? English players to score.
Who are the last three British players to score in the Champions League final?
Emphasis on the word British. So,
yeah. Gareth Bale is in there. That's why he has to say British.
Gareth Bale, 2018.
Correct, Mundo. I'm trying to think. So in Chelsea's win, Drogba scored in that game versus Bayern. I don't think Lampard.
Come on, Ayub.
Lampard scored against us in 2008, but I don't know if that classifies as one of the last three.
That is one of the answers.
Oh, okay.
Lampard.
Yes, 2008 Moscow.
Hey, Ayub, who scored the penalty against Spurs for Liverpool?
The penalty against Spurs.
If it wasn't Salah, it was Hendo, but
it was Mo Salah.
It was Mo Salah, so okay, so it's not him. All right.
I can't think.
Badge.
Wazza scored against Barcelona. We didn't win, but he scored.
2011, Wayne Rooney at Wembley against Barcelona in a 3-1 defeat. So those were the three last British players to score in the Champions League final. The 2023-2024 season will be Mo Salah's last at Liverpool. True or false?
Now, I've been saying this to Liverpool fans, actually, that I can't see him staying, like if they're in the Europa, but then there's no real talk of an exit. So, I mean, the summer's long. But
how old is he now? About 30? What is he?
31, 32, 31.
And how long has he got left? Has he got one more year on his contract? Or?
Oh, yeah. I thought you just made him laugh. He's 30 actually, so he's younger than we thought.
But what's he got left on his contract?
He
I think he's
got
got
a
a few
remember he had
years.
a
He got
big
an
yeah, he
extension.
had a
Oh
big
yeah, of
contract
course. Yeah,
extension,
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
he?
yeah, yeah.
He's going to be 31 on the 15th.
I think he'll stay. He'll stay. He'll stay.
I do think he will stay. But
So
he's
you're saying Ayub, he will stay beyond this next season?
Yeah. Then he'll go to Saudi Arabia.
I wouldn't think he'd want to play in the Europa, but I think he will stay. What do you think, Lewis?
But again, just to clarify, both of you are saying that he will stay
He'll
for at
stay.
least the next 2 seasons at Liverpool, yeah?
No. What?
No, you
What's
said
that
one
for?
season.
See, this is what I mean. If you listen to the question,
You said 2020.
No,
I-
23,
I-
24.
yes,
You
I
said
said-
23, 24, so that's one season, my friend.
let's go back to the question.
Don't rephrase your question.
More Salah, 2023, the 2023-2024 season will be Mo Salah's last at Liverpool. True or false? And
Oh.
if you say it's false, that means he has to stay one more
No.
year.
See, I thought you said 2022, 2023 was his last season.
Of course, I don't think he's moving on this summer. I'm very surprised.
No.
No, but it's just one
Yes.
season, though, isn't it? It's this next season. This next season.
This question. This question.
Lord have mercy.
You know why? You know why? I've been doing the general knowledge. I was being quizzed by some folk earlier on general knowledge, and it's fried my brain. But not to make excuses.
So Ayub,
He will be there one more season, and that is it.
Yeah, that's no. He'll be no more. He'll
Okay.
have 2 more seasons.
That's fine.
Yeah, what was
and
his
then
first name? Yeah.
But then he will go to Saudi Arabia.
That's fine. So Badge believes it's true. Ayub, you believe it's false. That's
Wait,
pretty
what do I
simple.
believe is true?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
He will be there next season and the season after.
Ruud van
Big
Nistelrooy.
answer.
Ruud van Nistelrooy scored 150 Premier League goals for Manchester United Football Club. How many were from outside of the box?
I know the answer, so I'll let you take it.
7.
Nope.
Badge.
One against Charlton.
Oh, okay. I was close.
Correct. One
It was
against
single digit.
Charlton.
But then when he moved to Real, some of the goals he scored from outside the box.
Yeah.
Wowzers.
I think he famously scored that goal in the Messi hat-trick game where he scored from outside of the box, I think, at the Camp Nou. Okay, moving on. Mauricio Pochettino will be the coach of Chelsea for the start of the 2025-2026 seasons. So that would be...
Wait, let me get my fingers out.
No, I can make it clear for you. So he would have to coach 2 full seasons at Chelsea and then start that next one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you be careful? You'll be sharing dinner later with your Chelsea supporting son.
No, it won't happen.
No, I think he could have 1.5 exceptional seasons, and if he has half a bad season, he's gone. So no, I don't think so.
So both of you think he will not see that 3rd season? Yeah. Interestingly, I think he's only been given a 2-year contract with another option at the end of that 2-year deal. Oh,
If
interesting.
he does really well, he'll reach Jan of that 3rd season, but I don't think so.
Okay, good stuff. John Terry, with 42 Premier League goals for Chelsea, has more league goals than Xavi does in La Liga for Barcelona. True or false?
True.
Are you?
Yeah, it's true.
False.
He was never huh?
False.
Do you know, before you said false, I was going to say he was never prolific.
oh
my goodness me.
But it's not much more, is it? It's not much more, is it?
He scored 58 goals. So
Yeah, 50. So it's not that much more.
That surprises me.
Interestingly, John Terry with 42 Premier League goals for Chelsea scored more than Andreas Iniesta did in La Liga for Barcelona. Andreas Iniesta only
That's
had
who
35
who I was actually thinking of.
Of course,
sure.
These
I get them mixed up.
Yeah, these small technical Spaniards, very difficult.
Yeah,
to tell.
they all look the same.
Not to hijack your segment, US, but as of this date, has Andres Iniesta retired?
I think he has, hasn't he? I mean, I know he went to the
Are
Middle
you?
East.
I didn't I didn't even know he was, I thought he retired years ago. Where's he been playing?
You're
Where's
both
he been
wrong.
playing?
He has
No,
not
where's
retired.
where is he playing?
He's at Vissel Kobe in Japan, but he's just left
That's
them.
retired. That's retired. Don't even,
If Ayub is not
playing
getting,
in
He's looking for a new club as we speak, but
that
he
is
has
playing
not
in the park.
retired.
Don't tell me. It's like playing with his kids. That is,
hey, Ayub, come on, But if Ayub's not giving Kylian Mbappe any credit for playing in the French league, he definitely is giving.
There's no chance. No, In my mind, there's 3 leagues in the world, and that isn't one of them.
The Premier League, the Championship.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Right, 2 more questions to finish off. Manchester United will not win the Premier League title as long as Pep Guardiola is manager of Manchester City. True or false?
Go on, Bash.
You can't set me up like this, bro. I'm gonna say false.
I'm trying to work out what false means. Does false mean? Does that mean?
So I state a fact, and then it's true or false. Goodness.
All right. So that means
Manchester United will not
Well,
win
that's
the
not
Premier
a fact.
League title.
That's not a fact to this. That's a question.
No, but it's a statement.
Yeah.
I should say a statement.
Yeah, go on.
Manchester United will not win the Premier League title as long as Pep Guardiola is manager of Manchester City.
Right.
True or false?
So if you say false, that means
You
they
think
will win.
during
Oh
Pep's
my
time at
God.
Manchester City?
I swear down, Lewis.
Yes. No, they won't. They won't. As long as Pep's there.
So true. So you think it's true?
Why has no other club won it whilst Pep's there?
That's not.
Oh
the point.
no.
It's just a light-hearted prediction, Badge.
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking.
Liverpool
Yes.
will.
It took the unbelievable Liverpool as well as that first season, I think, when Chelsea won, right?
Chelsea won it.
And I think Liverpool will win it next year.
Let's finish off with
Bash is not saying anything.
let's finish off.
We can scrap at you.
Let's finish off with a gentle question. Come on, Ayub, you can go first with this one. If there is one player, past or present, that you would have wanted to have played for your team and has not done so, who would that player have been?
Maradona.
Care to elaborate?
The greatest. I'm the greatest footballer that's ever walked this planet. Absolute genius. And I would.
I'm just imagining. I'm just imagining Badge that Ballon d'Or ceremony. Maradona from Leeds. From Leeds. Yeah.
But there is no. I mean, I suppose it's a generational thing, isn't it? Really, I think everybody of the modern generation will always say Messi, Ronaldo, either one of the two. Perhaps more so Messi, but in terms of just all-round footballing ability, the time that he played as well. I think you should never forget the time that he played where there wasn't as much protection. With Napoli, he single-handedly was instrumental in winning the league for Napoli, which had not been. I mean, I don't know how long, but he just was the most sensational, most amazing. And as a personality as well, he was charismatic as well. I mean, he was dangerous. He was mad as a box of frogs, but he was just superb. I think I'd advise our younger viewers just to go onto YouTube. Now, I know it's misleading because even on YouTube, Bamford can look good. But if they go and just watch YouTube clips of Maradona, the goal in the 1986, not the hand of God, the second goal. And Gary Lineker did actually comment on that. He said that the pitch that they played on was a laid pitch with squares. So it moved, actually. Gary Lineker was saying that it was very difficult to play because all the turf, if you put your foot on it, actually moved. It wasn't firmly embedded into the soil. He scored the most amazing goal that I think anybody will ever see. And the best player ever. Best player ever. Simple.
Lewis?
Honestly, I've not given it much thought. I've not given it much thought, so I'll let you go first.
Listen, you don't have to prepare every answer.
No, he's a question master, so I suppose he
I genuinely didn't give any thought.
So he's trying his best not to say Messi. He's trying his best.
No, honestly, the question was angled not from that perspective. Sometimes it could be just a player that you admire, that you like.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because After Ayub said Maradona, I'm like, am I stupid or something for not picking like the Messi, Maradona, something like that? But honestly, David Villa would be my answer.
Mm.
Yeah. David Villa. What he's my behind Ruud van Nistelrooy, my favorite striker of all time. He had everything. He had everything. He was dynamic. He could finish, pick out a pass. His movement was superb, and he had superb footballing brain. So for me, I used to love that Valencia side as well. By the way, him, David Silva, Mata, Joaquin, superb side. But for me, hands down, David Villa.
That's a very astute pick, Badge. But yeah, he did have those years at Valencia as well, and then obviously at Barcelona where he was. I mean, I guess always a little bit in obviously Messi's shadow to some extent, but he was absolute top notch consistency wise, and obviously for Spain as well. Yeah, unbelievable.
And we were linked with
picks.
him once upon a time. Before he went to Valencia, he was at Real Zaragoza.
But where did he end up? Where did he end his career?
He went to the MLS for a bit.
Yeah,
He went to
that's
New York.
it. End of story.
No, but he won literally every title.
What age was he when he went to the MLS?
Euros, World Cup. He won the Champions League, La Liga.
What have you got
Won
against
everything.
a player simply, as Badge mentioned, he's won the absolute lot, and then he just says, I'm going to go to America for a year or two.
I don't mind if you're in your late 30s, maybe I suppose looking for an extra payday, but I think he was quite. He was. How old was he? How old was David?
Here's a good one. He's a good one for Ayub actually. How old was Thierry Henry before he moved to New York Red Bulls?
Same. I've got contempt for him as well. You're not going to get me with that one. He can sod off as well.
And by the way, he did go. You're right. He did go to the MLS for a little stint at New York City FC. Actually, he had a good few years there. But after that, he moved to one more place, and it has been mentioned on this show. So I'll see if you can guess it.
Japan.
J
League.
I think I know this.
He didn't go to India, did he?
The Kolkata Knight Riders.
Seriously, did he go? What?
No.
I was like,
that's a cricket team, man.
I know. I was thinking.
Yeah.
No, I thought you like. No, I'm not sure. I should know this, but it escapes my mind right now.
He was teammates with Andres Iniesta at Vissel Kobe.
That well-renowned club, clearly.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, those were the questions I put together. I wanted to get a few more interesting ones, but I think we did okay. A little bit of humor there, a few interesting little predictions. Clearly, Ayub needs to understand how true or false works, but we'll work on that. we'll work on that in the background, and who knows, we might do this segment again.
We should do this again. That was good fun.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable. Good questions as well.
They weren't very generic. They were like,
It was fun.
Good stuff.
Enjoyed that, guys. And that will wrap up this episode of Just Onside. Remember, guys, to like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Hit the bell for a notification for our next episode. Fellas, thank you very much. And thank you for having me on this one. As I feel like I'm a guest.
Special guest, is it? You are? Yeah. Guest appearance.
Life is such. No, but thank you for joining, guys. Any final thoughts before I wrap this one up?
No, just really looking forward to the game on Saturday. Should be an absolute cracker.
Yeah,
likewise.
Should be. Exciting times. Right, guys, that has been this episode of Just Onside. We'll catch you on the next one. And in the meantime, don't stray off.